We're rolling.
Welcome to the REI Rookies Podcast.
The Real Estate Investing Rookies Podcast, episode number 79, where we invite you to follow us on our journey towards financial freedom using the power of real estate. I'm Josh Koth.
And I'm Jack Haas.
And here at REI Rookies, we believe in a couple key principles. Number one, the best way to retain information is by teaching it to others. And number two, a rising tide lifts all boats. We're not competitors, we're a community. So let's get into some real estate investing.
So I thought the title of this episode was a little interesting. What a Cub Scout reminded us about mindset. Josh's son recently started selling popcorn for the local chapter.
Yeah, it was a good lesson and a good reminder that your mindset and how you approach a task is really everything, and it will determine how successful you are and how much you enjoy the process and ultimately the outcome, and how crucial that is to come in with the right mindset. We were sitting there. My son joined Cub Scouts. He's in 4th grade. And they do one fundraiser a year, and they have to sell popcorn. You go around the neighborhood, door knocking, you set up little storefronts, and you sell your popcorn to people to try to raise money for the Cub Scout activities. Immediately, as the scout leader was kind of rattling off all the tasks involved in this, I was just sitting there kind of dreading it and going, oh boy, here we go. He's only been in scouts for a week and he's already got to start going door to door selling, and I was thinking, wow, this is really going to suck. And, I've always been kind of against that anyways. It's like, as a parent, just tell me the amount of money you need from each parent and I'll just write a check. Because the idea of going door to door and kind of with your hand out begging for money just seems kind of yucky to me. And plus, just door to door selling seems like literally the worst task. Even as a allegedly sophisticated real estate investor and trained salesperson now, it still just seems yucky. So I was dreading that. An interesting thing happened after we left the meeting, and he had been given his task. I said, so, do you want to sign up for what slots, or how do you want to do this? And he's like, yeah, he was excited. He's like, he wanted to sign up for as much time as he could, sitting at these storefronts, in the entryways of stores, selling at 2-hour slots at a time. And he wanted to sign up for this big blitz they're having where we literally meet at a grocery store parking lot and then you walk door to door, hit certain neighborhoods. And he was pumped and he was excited to do it. And I was just like, wow. That's because I was coming in with all this negative baggage about door-to-door selling. And here's a 9-year-old who's never, had a sales role, obviously, and doesn't have any preconceived notions about selling or about how much door-to-door selling might suck. And he thought he was looking at it like it was going to be fun. It was exciting, and he couldn't wait to raise money to help his troop out. And, he was just raring to go and excited about it. And I thought, wow, there's a lesson here. And then I tried to keep my negative Nelly, Debbie Downer attitude to myself, because once he expressed excitement, I thought, well, I'm not going to squash this. Obviously, he's approaching this the right way and I'm in the wrong here. So let's let him teach me a lesson and try to take that into other things. So we met for the blitz in Minutes parking lot, got loaded up with our popcorn, and started going door to door. And he would excitedly run up to each door, bang on it, and then launch into his script that they had sort of given us to say. And some people would buy, some wouldn't. People were generally nice. And, we sold a bunch of popcorn, and he thought it was a great time. So mission accomplished, right? And all the negative baggage I had was just kind of washed away, and like, wow, that, if I would have approached that, or he would have approached that as, this is going to suck, I don't want to do this, it would have went that way. It would have sucked. So, how you approach those types of sales roles is everything.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting that was a great reminder at a great time. I'm going to just bring up that my daughter had a similar thing recently in West Fargo. They have a local farmers market in that arena area. But anyway, they open this up for people who do crafting and that as well. And I called over there recently because my daughter makes the very popular slime. If anybody has children, they probably have. Their kids are making slime right now. It seems to be a thing. But we were doing something at the local mall. On a monthly basis, they had a Youth Entrepreneur Day, and Jesse would participate and just would love it. Well, that kind of got canceled for some reason, and so I just randomly called this farmer's market to see if Jesse could set up a table. And when I called over there, the person answering the phone basically told me not to bother. It would just be a waste of time. So with that being said, I even called Jessie and asked her whether she wanted to participate. And we had to have a quick meeting regarding that. And in the end, she did do it. She only sold like 2 canisters of slime that entire time she was there. But again, she was excited just to be there. It was another situation where it was just the opportunity was enough for her. And I guess that was worth the table fee alone.
Right. And even if not every sales opportunity is going to turn into a hugely profitable day either, but the fact that she was willing to go there, even knowing that she might not get a lot of sales, and then still wanting to do it again. And actually, I don't know, what was her attitude after she'd sold only the 2? Was she against selling slime from then on, or did she still think it was a viable business model that she was still excited about doing?
She still wants to do it. She just starts to ask questions about, well, we tried that place, let's try somewhere else. Right. So it was all about, well, maybe that wasn't a good fit. But she's still geared up to try it again, maybe in a different situation or different environment. So I guess it kind of drives you to experiment a little bit.
And it's just like when we're selling popcorn, going door to door, not every house buys. In fact, only maybe half did. So just because one person wasn't a sale doesn't mean you just give up and say, well, time to go home. In fact, it's funny because when it was getting dark, and I started saying, okay, we need to kind of wrap it up here because it's getting dark. And it was like after 8 o'clock, I said, people are going to start, being upset that you're knocking their door so late. And he wanted to keep rolling. And eventually I had to pull him away. He would have kept going all night. And, I had to kind of draw a line in the sand and say, okay, now people are going to, they're getting ready for bed and stuff. So, but he just, had not lost no enthusiasm, even after getting rejected at least half of the time. It didn't stop him from wanting to go to the next house and keep going. So there's a lesson there in having grit, persistence, and maybe just not knowing enough to get yourself in trouble, right? We come in with all these preconceived notions about selling and cold calling. And, as a real estate agent, a lot of very similar tactics are used. They door knock. I mean, they literally do the same exact thing. Hey, I'm a new agent in town. You ever thought about selling your house? Do you know anybody that is? That's a tactic real estate agents use all the time to try to generate leads. And I guarantee most of them probably go in with the attitude of this is going to suck. And it probably does when you have that attitude. And if you just go in with approach it like a Cub Scout would that doesn't know any better, doesn't have any negative baggage, I guarantee you're going to have better results and come home with more leads than if you think it sucks in advance.
And Jessie had a situation too where she had made a lot of batches of slime. I mean, if you ever watch a kid make this stuff, there's a lot of work associated with it. So she had made this slime like the last time we were at West Acres at the local mall. And so she had to take all of the slime out of every container, re-add ingredients, make sure they were all viable again. And she's been reviving the same batch of slime now for I don't know how long. She had to finally give it up on this last one. But that persistence, that grit, that determination that she was going to maintain and control her inventory was pretty remarkable.
Right. So slime has an expiration date. Apparently, I didn't know that. I thought that stuff will last forever. But
well, when you make it out of glue and saline solution, It's yeah, it has a shelf life.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I guess the main message of this podcast is to try to get rid of any preconceived baggage and negative feelings towards your sales tactics that you may come into the situation with, and really try to approach it like somebody with fresh eyes who hasn't experienced a bunch of rejection yet and still believes in all the possibilities and the positive things that can happen. And if you go in with that attitude, guaranteed you're going to have better results. And that's what you want, right?
Yeah, and more than anything, the lesson there is every sales experience is going to add to your education. So if anything, it's going to just add to your arsenal in the long run and help you in the future. So don't see it as a possible rejection. Only look at the upside.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, let's keep this one kind of short today. I thought that was a great lesson to be learned from our kids as they enter the world of sales as open-eyed, wide-eyed newbies. And there's some lessons to be learned there, and we try to look for lessons going through our everyday lives anywhere we can.
Yeah, and look out for the near future of REI Rookie Slime. It'll be available in the online store. No, I'm just joking there.
Good one.
Find us on Facebook and Twitter at REI Rookies.
If you like what you're hearing, head over to iTunes, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. It really helps other rookie investors out there find the show.
And remember, get off the bench.
And get into the game. We'll see you next time.